The simple present tense. I live in New York. She works at a hospital. The sun rises in the east. They play tennis every weekend. He speaks 3 languages fluently. The train departs at 9 a.m. The earth revolves around the sun. I love chocolate ice cream. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. The store opens at 8 a.m. The simple present continuous. I am studying for my exams. She is working on a new project. It is raining outside. They are watching a movie right now. He is learning to play the guitar. The children are playing in the garden. We are waiting for the bus. The chef is preparing a delicious meal. I am reading a book at the moment. The dog is chasing its tail. The present perfect tense. I have visited Paris before. She has eaten lunch already. They have completed the assignment. He has traveled to many countries. We have known each other for 10 years. The movie has already started. I have read that book. She has seen this movie before. They have lived in this city since 2010. I have finished my homework. The present perfect continuous. I have been studying for 2 hours. She has been working on the project since morning. They have been waiting for the bus for 30 minutes. He has been playing the piano for a long time. We have been living in this house for 5 years. The team has been practicing hard for the competition. I have been watching TV all evening. She has been cooking dinner for the family. They have been traveling around Europe. I have been reading this book since yesterday. The past tense. I visited London last summer. She graduated from college in 2010. They lived in Japan for 5 years. He played basketball in high school. We went to the beach yesterday. The concert started at 7 p.m. I saw that movie before. She traveled to India in 2018. They bought a new car last month. The company was founded in 1990. The past continuous. I was studying when the phone rang. She was working on a project all night. They were playing soccer when it started raining. He was reading a book when I called him. We were having dinner when the power went out. The children were playing in the park. I was waiting for the bus when I saw her. She was cooking when the guests arrived. They were watching TV when the earthquake occurred. I was sleeping when the alarm went off. The past perfect tense. I had already finished my homework. She had visited Paris twice before. They had never been to a concert like that. He had lived in that city for 10 years. We had seen that movie before. The project had been completed by the time I arrived. I had read the book before the movie was released. She had already left when I arrived. They had traveled to many countries. I had graduated from college by the age of 22. The past perfect continuous. I had been working on the project for 2 months when it was cancelled. She had been studying for the exam for hours before taking a break. They had been living in the city for 5 years before moving to the countryside. He had been playing the guitar for years before forming a band. We had been waiting at the airport for hours when the flight was finally announced. The team had been practicing hard for weeks before the championship. I had been reading the book for hours before realizing it was midnight. She had been working at the company for a decade before getting promoted. They had been traveling around Europe for months before returning home. I had been attending the conference every year before deciding to skip this time. The simple future tense. I will visit Paris next year. She will start her new job in January. They will travel to Italy for their honeymoon. He will finish his project by Friday. We will meet at the coffee shop tomorrow. The concert will take place on Saturday night. I will call you when I arrive. She will learn to play the piano. They will buy a new house soon. The company will launch a new product next month. The future continuous. I will be studying when you come over. She will be working on the presentation all day tomorrow. They will be traveling to Japan this time next week. He will be playing football when we arrive at the park. We will be having dinner when you call. The children will be playing in the backyard. I will be waiting for you at the airport. She will be cooking when the guests arrive. They will be watching a movie at that time. I will be sleeping when you get home. The future perfect tense. I will have finished my book by the end of the week. She will have graduated from college by the time she is 22. They will have moved to a new city by next month. He will have traveled to every continent by the age of 30. We will have completed the renovation by the summer. The project will have been submitted before the deadline. I will have read all the Harry Potter books by the end of the year. She will have seen the movie before it comes out on DVD. They will have saved enough money to buy a car. I will have learned how to swim by the end of the swimming lessons. The future perfect continuous. I will have been working on this project for 3 months by the time it's finished. She will have been studying for the exam for hours before taking a break. They will have been living in the city for 5 years before moving to the countryside. He will have been playing the guitar for years before forming a band. We will have been waiting at the airport for hours before the flight is announced. The team will have been practicing hard for weeks before the championship. I will have been reading the book for hours before realizing it's midnight. She will have been working at the company for a decade before getting promoted. They will have been traveling around Europe for months before returning home. Conditional zero. It tells the truths and it always happens. 1. If you heat ice, it melts. 2. If the sun sets, it gets dark. 3. If water reaches 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. 4. If you mix blue and yellow, you get green. 5. If it rains, the ground gets wet. 6. If you drop something, it falls down. 7. If you press the button, the machine starts. 8. If you open the window, fresh air comes in. 9. If you touch fire, you get burned. 10. If you turn off the lights, the room becomes dark. Conditional 1. Possible to happen. If it rains tomorrow, I will stay at home. If she calls, tell her I'll be there. If you study hard, you will pass the exam. If the bus comes on time, we will catch the train. If I see him, I will give him the message. If it snows, we will build a snowman. If the store is open, we can buy some groceries. If you hurry, you will catch the bus. If you eat too much, you will feel sick. If I have time, I will join the meeting. Conditional 2. Impossible to happen at the present. If I were you, I would apologize. If it rained tomorrow, we would stay indoors. If she had money, she would buy a new car. If I had a car, I would drive to work. If it was sunny, we would go to the beach. If he studied harder, he would get better grades. If they lived closer, we would visit more often. If it wasn't so expensive, I would buy it. If she knew the answer, she would tell us. If I had more time, I would read more books. Conditional 3. Impossible to happen in the past. If I had studied harder, I would have passed the exam. If it hadn't rained, we would have gone for a picnic. If they had known, they wouldn't have come late. If you had told me, I would have helped you. If she had invited us, we would have attended the party. If I had seen the traffic, I wouldn't have taken that route. If it had been warmer, we would have gone swimming. If they had listened, they wouldn't have made that mistake. If I had taken your advice, things would be different. If we had left earlier, we wouldn't have missed the train. The near future. I will meet you at the cafe tomorrow. She is going to start her new job next week. We are planning to visit the museum this weekend. They will arrive at the airport in the evening. He is flying to Paris on Friday. I'm going to attend a conference next month. She will call you later this afternoon. We are going to have a barbecue in the backyard on Saturday. They will send you the details by the end of the day. I'm going to buy a new laptop next week. How to use subjunctives in English. Expressing desires. I wish he were more considerate. If only it were Friday already. I would rather you be honest with me. It's high time he found a new job. I wish she wouldn't interrupt me. Giving advice. I suggest that he be on time for the meeting. It's important that she speak up about her concerns. I recommend that they not eat too much before the event. It's crucial that you follow the instructions carefully. I propose that we all work together on the project. Expressing possibility or necessity. It's necessary that he attend the seminar. It's essential that she finish the report by tomorrow. It's important that everyone be present for the announcement. It's crucial that they not forget their passports. It's vital that we find a solution to the problem. Expressing doubt or uncertainty. If he were here, he would know what to do. I doubt that it be as simple as it seems. If only she were more reliable. It's unlikely that he arrive on time. I wish it weren't so difficult to understand. Expressions of indirect request or suggestion. I ask that you be quiet during the presentation. The teacher insisted that we be prepared for the exam. He requested that she not disclose the information. It is suggested that you not use your phone during the performance. The boss recommended that they be more proactive. Expressions of hypothetical situations. If I were in your shoes, I would take the opportunity. Suppose she were to win the lottery. What would she do? I would act differently if I were you. Imagine if it were possible to travel through time. If he were more careful, accidents wouldn't happen. Comparative of adjectives. This book is more interesting than that one. The weather in summer is hotter than in spring. She is more diligent than her sister. The movie was more exciting than I expected. Learning a new language is more challenging than I thought. His car is more expensive than mine. That restaurant is more popular than the one down the street. The exam was more difficult than I anticipated. The smartphone is more advanced than the old model. The new software is more efficient than the old version. Comparative of nouns. His intelligence is greater than hers. The beauty of the sunset is greater than words can describe. The importance of education is greater than ever. The success of the project was greater than expected. The distance between the two cities is greater than I thought. The value of the painting is greater than its price. The difficulty of the task is greater than we imagined. The impact of the decision is greater than we realize. The responsibility of the position is greater than he anticipated. The number of participants is greater than last year. Comparative of adverbs. He runs more quickly than I do. She speaks English more fluently than her brother. The car moves more smoothly now. The team performed more efficiently after the training. He answered the questions more confidently than before. She types more accurately than her colleague. The new system works more effectively than the old one. The project progressed more rapidly than expected. He adapts to changes more easily than others. The athlete recovered more quickly from the injury. Equative of adjectives. This book is as interesting as that one. The weather in summer is as hot as in spring. She is as diligent as her sister. The movie was as exciting as I expected. Learning a new language is as challenging as I thought. His car is as expensive as mine. That restaurant is as popular as the one down the street. The exam was as difficult as I anticipated. The smartphone is as advanced as the old model. The new software is as efficient as the old version. Equative of nouns. His intelligence is as great as hers. The beauty of the sunset is as great as words can describe. The importance of education is as great as ever. The success of the project was as great as expected. The distance between the two cities is as great as I thought. The value of the painting is as great as its price. The difficulty of the task is as great as we imagined. The impact of the decision is as great as we realize. The responsibility of the position is as great as he anticipated. The number of participants is as great as last year. Equative of adverbs. He runs as quickly as I do. She speaks English as fluently as her brother. The car moves as smoothly now. The team performed as efficiently after the training. He answered the questions as confidently as before. She types as accurately as her colleague. The new system works as effectively as the old one. The project progressed as rapidly as expected. He adapts to changes as easily as others. The athlete recovered as quickly from the injury. Superlative of adjectives. This is the most interesting book on the shelf. The summer weather is the hottest in July. She is the most diligent student in the class. That movie was the most exciting one I've ever seen. Learning a new language is the most challenging task. His car is the most expensive in the showroom. That restaurant is the most popular in the city. The exam was the most difficult one in the semester. The smartphone is the most advanced on the market. The new software is the most efficient in its category. Superlative of nouns. She is the smartest student in the class. That mountain is the highest in the region. The elephant is the largest land animal on Earth. The Eiffel Tower is the tallest structure in Paris. This diamond is the most precious in the collection. He is the richest person in the city. The marathon is the longest race in the Olympics. This library has the most extensive collection of rare books. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean on the planet. She is the youngest professor in the department. Superlative of adverbs. He runs the most quickly of all the athletes. She speaks English the most fluently in the office. The car moves the most smoothly among all vehicles. The team performed the most efficiently during the competition. He answered the questions the most confidently in the group. She types the most accurately of all her colleagues. The new system works the most effectively in this environment. The project progressed the most rapidly in the last quarter. He adapts to changes the most easily among the team members. The athlete recovered the most quickly from the injury.